Phenomena. Phenomena. Phenomena.
Well, hello there, YouTubers. It's a beautiful Easter Monday. I hope all of you had a great Easter, and for those of you that don't celebrate Easter, I hope you just had a great day. This video is going to be a response to SmyrnaCowboy's request to see our first cars. I had a hell of a time coming up with the photographs of it, and there's a bit of a story about me having a car before I could even drive it, dare I say legally. As I alluded to in one of my previous videos, how I started riding, I was fortunate or unfortunate enough to ride a lot of different motorcycles early. And to make a long story short, if you're going to dance, you got to pay the piper. And when the time came for me to pay the piper, I did. And part of my penance, if you want to call it, as determined by the judge, was that I had to channel my efforts so far as building, tearing apart, changing parts on motorcycles into something constructive. So, with my limited funds, I found a 31 Model A, and it was decided that that would keep me out of trouble, as well as hopefully teach me something. Well, so I started with a 31 Model A. And 3 friends, and we all had varying degrees of experience. We chopped it and channeled it. I put a 48 Mercury engine in it, flathead. Some of you might recognize the term 59A block. That's just the traditional 48 Mercury flathead. And I wish I could tell you how much we chopped it. After we dropped it down over the frame, it just didn't look quite right, so we decided to chop it, and so there we went with a hacksaw. Now you have to remember, we were 14 and 15, 16-year-olds, and what rudimentary tools we had were basically a hacksaw, can opener, sheet metal pliers, and that's about it. So we proceeded to chop this 31 Model A. The reason I said I wish I could tell you how much we chopped it is because every time we cut a little here and a little there, it just wasn't level. It's like cutting a chair leg off. Cut a little here and it doesn't seem level. You cut a little off the other one, before you know it, I ended up with basically an illegal windshield. It had a 3-inch windshield wiper, and if you add on that the old windshield wiper arm, it may have been a total of 6 inches. Damn inspection sticker took up most of the windshield. Well, anyway, one of the friends that I was working with me, I happened to be working at a gas station, and we were able to always get it inspected. But make a long story short, I did learn one hell of a lot on that Model A, and kept working on it off and on through high school. And when the schools closed on me my senior year, and that's another story, maybe or maybe not, I can get into that. If anyone is familiar with the school systems in Norfolk, Virginia, I guess you'll understand I was considered to be in the lost class of '59. Anyway, so when they did that, when they closed the schools, I joined the Army, and while I was in Korea, I told my folks, go ahead and sell the car, because it was just sitting there, and I was afraid that the exhaust systems and everything, because if you're familiar with the older cars, just sitting for a year just didn't help with it. So it was a neat little car. I sat on the floor. I had a thick carpet on the floor with just a seat back. I was basically in easy rider position. My feet were stretched out in front of me. I didn't cut the gear shift lever off. I had an 8-ball on the gear shift lever, and if I got excited when I was shifting, the gear shift lever damn near hit the roof. It was a fun little car, though. And I meant to say that all the welding was done with it was all gas welded. The rods we used were coat hangers. We used coat hangers to weld it all up. One of my friends was also a plumber's helper, so I had access to a lot of half and half lead, 50-50, 50-10, 50 lead. And most of the body work, the finished body work, was actually done with lead paddles, wiping cloth, and Bernzomatic torches. The final finish, where we had a few pores open and things like that, we used Bondo. Back then, the resin products weren't. You couldn't get a lot of strength out of it. So if you had any major crevices or anything like that, it was always best to use lead. Lead would flex a little bit, and the Bondo was just good for filling pores. Never did get a finished paint job on it, though. That was one of my projects from when I got back home. But it was never to be, and I used that money. I used the money I got from it to purchase a 56 Ford business coupe. But once again, the experience I got with body work and things like that was a lot of help. And later I'll show you one of my other projects. Maybe I'll throw that picture in there too.